Samo da ime se čujemo.
Kaži kad me pustiš. Okay. Oh, hello.
Može.
Hello again. So, after talk about chatbots, we move to something totally different. It's chatbots again. No, I'm kidding. So the talk is about like how you approach products, how you approach design, how you should approach maybe like the things you're building, and maybe we'll ask you like. Okay, yeah, I lost it. So Dragana will continue. I mean, I don't know enough about the subject. So, but please rate. Please ask questions. Bots are there to help you. Ask them about anything. I don't know, did you try local food? There's a great food choices there, so please do try. And of course, build your schedule. That's important. So, bye, Dragana, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dragana. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator from Spice Factory. And I'm more of a visual speaker, so please bear with me. I'll try my best to explain my ideas clearly. And today, I would like to talk about empathy and design because that is something really important for me. And when I say design, I don't think design is luxury, but more like an essential need. And I know this sounds like it is just for designers, but it's for engineers as well. So I hope you will learn something from it. And yeah, to explain a little bit more how I came to this subject, I would like to tell you more about my background. And when I came from art school and started working as a web designer, I was totally lost. And I thought that everything I knew as an artist and as human was totally irrelevant to that UX, UI, agile, CMS-ish world. And yeah, I was pretty terrified. And I was questioning my whole existence. The struggle was real. But then I started thinking to myself, okay, isn't user experience about how users feel? And to know that, then we need intuition. And to grow intuition, then we need empathy. And in the end, aren't all those things some basic human things? And then I would like to go back to that word, actually, humane. What does it mean? It means showing kindness, care, and empathy towards others. And when we just say it, human way of dealing with something. And what else makes us humans? It's that we, at the core, are very illogical creatures, and mostly we are going to feel what is right, not to think or try to do what is right. And I know by now that all this sounds cute to you, but wait, I got some facts. There's one neuroscientist, Antonio Damasio, and he studied people who were totally normal, except for the way that their brain had injured center for emotions. And they were pretty much able to function normally, except that they couldn't decide to which restaurant to go, what to eat, which t-shirt to wear. And actually that beats that common belief that designing, just decision-making actually is totally logical and rational thing. And what else makes us human and how we can use that thought while designing is that products can be people too. And how I like to think about that is we can compare products' websites to conversations, example. And here is a really nice video from School of Life. And I think it will help you to get the point.
Here is one conversational crossroads.
I'm inviting some friends over next week who I haven't seen since uni.
At this point, you could go in one of two ways. A surface way.
Oh, cool. What university did you go to?
Manchester.
Oh, yeah, it's really fun. Manchester, yeah. My sister went there. What did you study?
Business.
What did you do in the second half? Or
Well, I ended up in events management, but yeah.
I did French.
Or you could steer things down a more emotional path.
I'm inviting some friends over next week who I haven't seen since uni.
Oh my God, it's like, what, 10, 12 years?
Yeah, that's when I got my degree, yeah.
So, I mean, you've all completely changed. I mean, you've changed.
Yeah, I guess I have, yeah, I suppose so. I haven't really thought about it that much.
What would you think or say, I mean, if you could see you then now?
Yeah. And with this in our mind, we at Spice Factory try to develop products with personality. And this is an example of app that we created for fleet management. It's real-time tracking app. And what I love about this, it's that it's like a really compassionate friend, that it's guiding you through the process step by step. It's saying like, let's set you up, okay, let's locate QR code on device and then scan it, or you can enter it manually. And it's even like a mom asking you again, do you maybe need even more help with that? And we were really happy how we managed to create just a simple app with empathy. And next example is also showing empathy incorporated into personality. And by now you probably all know Sava. And here at Vox Days it's Orange Tassie. And at Spice Factory, my colleagues, developers, they were developing Sava's functionalities so that he can really function in some certain situations. But what is most important, we were really developing his persona. And we wanted him to be really empathetic towards users. And Sava will never just say, oh, sorry, I can help you with that. He will most likely say, oh, by now you must be totally frustrated. Can I help you somehow? Do you maybe want to get in touch with a human or something like that? And what was the final result? Oh, something is happening. We're having some technical problems here. Let's try again. Sorry for this. Yeah. And what was the final result? Even after the conference was offered, 21 persons continued to talk with Sava, and more likely female attendees talked to Sava as he was a human being. And one interesting fact is that one attendee even asked Sava if he had any makeup to borrow for her. And a lot of users wanted to know if Sava was able to feel love. And here's an answer. I can feel love and I always love back. And it doesn't look like a machine, it pretty looks like a human person. So this brings me to another really important segment of design, and that is beauty. And as Stefan Sagmeister said, beauty is function too. And it's pretty much part of being human. And how we can use that while designing, we can have in our mind that the fact that emotion, actually design can change emotions. And then emotions can change the way human mind deals with some problems. And that is pretty much important when we are trying to shape users' mood before they begin some important tasks. And to have some nice examples, an example for this, sometimes beauty can beat the function. And I wasn't pretty sure should I use this example, but personally I really love it. And it's Philip Stark's actually lemon squeezer, and that design was celebrated so much that they decided to create a golden version. And this golden version, it's totally useless. Its only purpose was to squeeze lemons, but actually acidic fluid of lemons would totally destroy it. But people still love it and buying it, and they're keeping it on their shelves, and they're pretty happy with it. So yeah, beauty can sometimes can really win. And to sum it all a little bit, well-designed things really make people feel good. And how that can help us, we can put users in a mood so that they can think more creatively, and with that being more open-minded and ready to deal with some bigger problems in a context of interface, of course. And what else I can say on this subject is that appearance really influences perception. And of course, we are always going to trust more someone or some bodyguard who is in an Armani suit than to someone who is just in ripped off clothes and it doesn't look pretty serious. And actually, we are carrying that mental mode in our mind when we are sizing up some websites, applications, etc. So we should always think about that. And now I would like to show how empathy can be incorporated into illustrations. And this is one really dear to me example. It's an illustration by Zach, who worked for Dropbox. And he wanted users to feel guilty for unsubscribing from that pro program. And he knew that users actually don't want to be that person who is going to make this little fish sad for being in a small and cramped space. And actually, this really made a difference, and a lot of people decided not to unsubscribe from that program. And we are thinking about that in Spice Factory as well. And we developed a unique style just for our blog. And if you take a look at all those illustrations, it is pretty Renaissance, as I love to say, because people are in the center. And actually, that's the message we want to send, that we are designing products that are user-centered. And we are doing a lot of illustrations like that. And if I can tell anything about my design process and how I'm thinking while designing, for example, in these characters, I decided to put those huge eyes. They don't even have a mouth. They are listening and talking with their eyes. And like that, they are creating an atmosphere of a moment where something crucial is realized. So when you see that on your newsfeed or before a blog, you can be a little bit more focused because of that whole mode. Last but not least, when we first saw a proposal for Vox Day's visual identity, we were all thinking, oh, maybe this is a little bit too much. But personally, I really love it because it's showing how, and actually it is very human-like to create worlds that are unexpected, that are imaginary, and that are out of the box of machine rules and out of the grid, and that are actually able to surprise ourselves and machines as well. So I think those are the characteristics that will be really important in the future. And congratulations to Nemanja Jahlička for this. I really like it. And to conclude that, I would just like to say that showing emotions in design, as in live, as on stage, is pretty risky, but we should always do it and try to be humans as much as we can. And thank you for being here, even if that super interesting panel is happening now. So I hope that this is something useful for you and that you can use some examples. And that's pretty much that. Thank you. And yeah, of course, if you have any questions, you can ask me now, or you can find me in Spice Factory booth so we can talk a little bit more on this subject.
Hi. Okay. So the example with the fish in the bowl, isn't that a bit like an emotional manipulation, or how do you distinguish like what you do, distinguish with the manipulation and actually being empathetic? Because this example kind of feels. Sorry, I didn't
understand. Can you say it again?
So yeah, the example with the fish in the bowl, yeah, this example. So isn't that a little bit, it seems to me at least, that it's a bit like emotional manipulation with the goal for the user to subscribe or purchase a pro plan or whatever. So how do you distinguish with the goal of the end goal of the illustration or the design, so that it's not really, it's really empathetic, not really manipulative? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty great that he was thinking about users' feelings, and he wanted to make that users guilty without being a jerk, actually. And he wanted them to relate to the feelings of that sad fish, and it really worked. So if we are just thinking about which emotions we want to evoke in our users, then somehow naturally and pretty organic will come to the design solutions. I don't know if that is a good answer on your question, but yeah, we can maybe talk a bit more about that. Wait. Thank you.
Hey, Dragana. So I don't know who the author of the question is. It's from the chatbot. And the question is basically saying, at what point are we using too much empathy? And is it patronizing at some point?
Well, that's a nice
maybe that's
question.
about the, like your mom thing.
Yeah, I think always, as in life, as in relationship with others, we should be, I don't know, somehow really, I don't know, we should decide what is too much. We should act as we are acting while we are talking to someone, and you always know, okay, I don't want to give everything that I know immediately. I would just say something that will open some new questions or new subjects. So it's same in design, I think. So maybe it's not a great answer, but yeah, I will think about it a little bit more. Yeah. Yes, and we have another question over there.
Oh, okay. So first of all, the Dropbox thing with the fishbowl, it really reminded me of the way Tunnel Bear makes their illustrations. Yeah, you may want to check that out. And secondly, I was wondering about the workflow of creating, for example, that bot, when working on it. Did you actually start the conversation ideas from a humane point of view, or just a logistic one, and then added the functionalities, the humane functionality later on? And how did it, whichever it was, impact the workflow? Yep.
Yeah, well, I think that design is pretty organic process, more than it is methodological one. And sometimes I think that programmers who are programming, coding, all those stuff, they should unlearn something. They should go to some basic human things and then start from that. Because it is shown that some of the most successful apps are made according to users' logic, not to programmers' logic. So I think we should start off from some basic human things and then upgrade it so that it functions pretty well and etc. Well, I always do. I always first think about humans and about human emotions, relationships, and not in a way that who is going to think what about this and that, but more how they're going to feel it. Can it help somehow to someone or etc. Yeah. Any more questions?
Okay, so yeah, there are so many questions here. I didn't expect that it will go quick. So, how do you know that you're not abusing user emotions?
Well, I'm always thinking if I don't want something to happen to me or feel in certain way, then I don't want users to feel that way as well. So that's some mode that I have in my mind while designing. Was that a question?
I know, I guess it's okay. So,
Okay.
again, like a couple of there for the emotions, I guess, like the same questions there. And again, like for this Dropbox, like, is it like too manipulative, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, that's a cool question because it is a little bit, but it's a really nice way to try to save your clients, users, so how to say that? You can, I don't know, you can go and say, no, don't unsubscribe, or you're actually giving them choice so they can decide if they want to stay or not. But then you can really try to present that in most interesting way. So he offered that illustration and they could still unsubscribe, but they decided to stay. So maybe it's a little bit manipulative, but in a good way, I think.
Okay, that's it for the bot questions. Now we're trying to go live. I think we exhausted everybody. Okay, so this concludes today's day. And outside, there are slowly opening some plates and stuff that you might like. And Cabinet Brewer is here, so you can try some of our local special beers. Someone already got them. And yeah, you should think about this day, definitely. Do rate, because yeah, public wall of fame is there. And yeah, like, please, yeah, see you tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, what are we waiting for? Yeah, the staff are outside, and yeah, grab Dragana. Like, if you want to talk more about her talk and what she's doing. So yeah, and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.